Alright, here we go with another Eric reaction. This is another movie called The Imitation Game. This is apparently another biopic because of what I'm about to tell you. I screen recorded this one because I wanted to avoid the buffering issues and all that stuff. And I had time to do it. So it worked out pretty good. Got both copies, no issues. I did it in halves just to make sure I could get it all right. But apparently, I've told you before, like when I started screen recording, there's an indeterminate amount of time before it actually starts recording what's on the screen. Very annoying bug, but nothing's perfect. So this time we got, even though I give myself because I know this, I give myself about a 5 second gap before I hit play. This time we still lost the first 2 seconds of the movie. So there's no way to queue up at the beginning of the movie. So what we're going to do is we're going to queue up at the end of this is based on a true story. So you'll have a couple production bumpers first part of the first couple seconds in the movie. They'll say whatever companies made the movie. That'll go away. Then there'll be some white text on the screen that just says this is based on a true story or some shit. Let me make sure. Based on a true story. Yeah, that's all it says. Okay, so when that goes away, then that's what we're queuing on. So basically what you can do is, if you want to, this is typically how I queue, by the way, when I'm like queuing up things, like there's 2 or 3 episodes in a row, and I queue up at the beginning of the second episode, I'll hit play 5 seconds before where I'm going to start. And then when what I want to happen pops on screen, I'll say mark, right? So that way I'm not always like, going frame by frame to pick something up. So you can just start the movie and have me on pause where I say, 3, 2, 1, and I say mark and pause me there. And then when you see the based on true story go away, just unpause me. And then we'll be in perfect sync. So at any rate, let's go and get into it, since I have no idea what the hell this is about. 3, 2, 1. 1951. We're going back. Yeah, most biopics start pretty early, don't they? We're not getting a biopic of somebody born in 2015. Hey, Benedict Cumberbatch. Wasn't expecting to see him today. Apparently he's under arrest. Is he going to be a mob boss? I could totally see him doing that. We got everything, see? Oh, now we're going back. Okay. I'll do my best. Turing. Alan Turing. Is that the guy from the Turing test? Since we don't have captions, I just realized I'm going to give you a little bit more of the screen, make it easier to see what's happening. Alan Turing, I think, is definitely the person from the Turing test. Yeah, he was working on computers and stuff. I think he was a code breaker though for for the government during World War II. He's basically in his Sherlock mode right now. What an asshole. Jesus Christ. Holy shit. Yeah. I'm telling you. Yeah. I don't know much about Tyrion, but I don't remember him being in any kind of shenanigans. You'd think that would have come up. 39, huh? Yep, we're going to see how he broke some codes during World War II. What kind of romance crap are we getting in this movie instead of the science, right? What's it going to be? Some English maid, they brought that up already. Probably, Keira Knightley, of course. You don't bring her in unless she's romantic, so she'll be a nurse helping save babies, falls in love with him for some crap because, he was an asshole to her and she likes that. I don't know. And we'll get 75% screen time on that shit instead of him inventing a test to find out whether Skymet's going to take over the world. I'm a cynical guy. I need my own Turing test. The shadow test. It'll be a number value of how much time they wasted when they could have been doing something better in the movie. That'll be the shadow test. I spent years studying World War II, man. Years. It was fascinating. Every war is fascinating, I'm sure. It just depends on which one you focus on. Any one that lasts, I'll put this way, every war that lasts 5 or 6, 7 years. If it lasts 6 months, it's probably not very fascinating. But if it lasts that long, there'll be so much shit that happened. Like, I'll give you one tiny example. Gibraltar, they had a base there in Gibraltar that protected the way to get into the Mediterranean, right? They were convinced the Germans were going to take it over. So they built a secret compartment in the side of a wall where they could hide like 9 troops and had 6 years worth of food supplies stuffed in there, right? And if it looked like that they were going to get taken. Charles Dance, excellent. Yeah, yes. I don't have any. Do you see any? What a dick. That's a joke. There you go, yeah. It's dialogue is great, man. Yeah, I've heard of him. Yes. Excellent. In the world. Yeah. Margaret better hurry up. Get the fuck out. The hell did you just tell me? Duh. What a fucking asshole. Yeah, we'll see about that. Raging egomaniac. I love it. Of course, we all know they broke it. So it'll be interesting to see how. I don't think the Germans ever figured out we broke it either. I don't think they did. They were careful about how they use this. Which means you have to let certain things happen, you know? Even though you could have prevented it. Dumbass. Right, to figure out the settings. You got to figure out how they change the settings. There's a routine for changing the settings, right? You got to figure out what that is. hey, I like you. Yeah, I'm awesome. Yeah, there are six, probably seven. It didn't win the war by itself. It certainly turned the tide. Okay, so to get back to my Gibraltar story. Shit. I was expecting a montage or something, so no, we're not getting that. Yep. That don't mean shit. Yeah. They were going around randomly plugging shit in. Yeah. And the settings change every day. Yeah. We're dealing with big numbers here. Yep. It's too rainy to be smoking a cigarette, dumbass. Yeah. You're out of here. We got time for that shit. Nothing. Get back to work. So? Keep pushing it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thanks, man. He don't give a shit. What do you want, dude? Do you want a friend? No, he didn't ask a question. He must be autistic, I guess, what they're saying. Hey, good for you, man. Jesus. That sounds pretty good. You psycho. Yeah. We're not bringing you back any soup. To be fair, he said, we're going to get some lunch. Now, obviously, any normal person with social cues understands what that means. But that you didn't ask him. You didn't invite him. So get that shit right. You phrase the shit correctly. Yeah, there's a. Let me tell my Gibraltar story. Well, we looks like we're finally getting our montage. So if the Gibraltar was going to be taken, like the enemy was there and they're breaking through the walls, they would shove the 9 soldiers into the secret room and pave it back over. They reconstruct the wall with no door, right? So that you could never tell there's a door there. You think it's just a solid rock wall. They'd rebuild that. They had everything ready to go. All the materials there. It would take them probably about an hour or two, right? Brick it up, paint it over. As long as the paint's dry before they walk through the hallway, you're good, right? You would have these 9 soldiers inside Gibraltar with the German occupying the place. Perfect spies. That's one story during World War II that's fascinating. You could spend 2 hours just on that story, right? Because there's so many details that are interesting about that plan. And think about what would happen, and I imagine what would happen. Well, what happens if they get in there and the Germans win the World War II, and you don't want to come out because you'll be executed as traitors, right, or secret agents? Because they wouldn't take kindly to people to what that had been done and make them look at like idiots. There are thousands of stories like that in World War II, man. Like that's what makes it so fascinating. That's when I say it's a fascinating war. I'm talking about the individual personal stories. You're out of your fucking mind. There we go. Skynet versus Big Brother. I'm trying to. Oh shit! Don't pull rank on this son of a bitch. Oh my god! Don't tell me he's going to. Holy shit! You're out of your fucking mind. Jesus. Get him out of here. You guys are mediocre, man. I'm sorry. Be better. Should have cracked the books harder. You guys are acceptable. What a dick. Look, man, it's about results. Fuck that schoolboy shit. But I guess we're gonna go back and find out how if he was popular in school. They just did. Too late. Oh Jesus. I was about to say, kids are very tolerant of people who are different than them, so this should go swimmingly. Well, here's the thing. You know what? It's powerful. Yeah, because they can't cope in any other way. They have no intelligence, right? His name still lives on almost 100 years after this happened. These motherfuckers are forgotten in time and history. So who won? You know? That's why I say. That's why I'm trying to get revenge. Life gets revenge. You don't have to. Yeah, that's really what it is. You know, intimidated by intelligence, and of course, they need to focus their rage on somebody, and they'll do it on the person who's different, right? So it's two things. He's different. He's smart. If he was smart but charming, it wouldn't be so bad. Follow orders. Whoever can solve that. Solve this in under 10 minutes. How are you going to prove you solved it in under 10 minutes? Yeah, he looks like a nerd. Good job, Poindexter. There's shit like this out there every day. You know, do this. You know, it's like a job interview. You know, I saw one a couple weeks ago where it was some kind of picture. You had to solve the I forget what it was, but it's some geometric puzzle, right? You had to solve the geometric puzzle, and then you would get the next puzzle. It would tell you where to find the next puzzle, right? Of course, I'm terrible at geometric puzzles, so no can do. I bet this shit sucked. The Blitz, man. I don't think they were allowed to have lights. I guess there's no way this light can leak out up above, right? I'll just solve this with my touch. I'll solve the crossword puzzle by touch. I think they were still worried about gas attacks back then. Hitler was never going to allow it because he got gassed in World War One. In retrospect, maybe you should put London further up the continent. I got a new puzzle for him. Here we go. Here we go. Here comes the romantic, stupid ass romance plotline. Unless she's some historical figure and he wasn't fucking. So we can always pray. Sit your ass down. I did it in 3 minutes. This guy's being a dick. Look at this patronizing dick. Don't be late again. Yeah, he thought he was on his side there for a second. I like this MI6 guy, man. There's something about him. I like him. You didn't get the instructions, so you're going to have to figure this shit out on your own. She's going to nail it. Obviously. They didn't hire Keira Knightley to wash out here and have a 3 minute cameo. It's the only problem with casting people we know, you know? I don't see a way around it. But it always bothers me as a filmmaker. The audience knows certain things you're trying to hide because of who you cast. she she probably solved that shit. How in the fuck? That's right. Consider yourself pwned. He's not kidding. This ain't a joke. Good shit. I don't know that the. Hmm. I was going to say I don't know if the out of sequence storytelling, out of chronology storytelling is necessary. But I have to admit, when you're in a biopic and you know the good shit happens when they're older, and we start the movie with them as kids, you're kind of just waiting for them to get to become an adult. That's a true thing. It tends to make the movie slow and boring. This 10, 15 minutes when they're a kid, we're not at the good shit yet. So we're just kind of like, can we get to the good shit? So I think it does work in this kind of movie. If you want us to get this information, do it this way, right? Because otherwise we're going to be zoned out, kind of like I was talking over the whole scene. But we're going to be zoned out. If it's at the beginning of the movie. Shit, the man pulled a swerve on me. If he's gay, the romance will be with somebody besides Keira Knightley, and I wasn't expecting that. I don't want the romance either way. I don't give a shit like the combination, but it was a bait and switch. She was better than you. I don't even want to shake your hand. She didn't want to be executed, man. He's already in her house. Nice cover story, by the way. Radio factory. Not gonna happen. It would look bad. I get it. Her parents are. You know what that word means. Her parents are judgy. I get it. She knows he's full of shit. Her parents would never have allowed it. Duh. He just said, "You're fucking awesome." He found another autistic nerd. Get your ass in the car. I love it. Her parents were judging like a motherfucker. I guess so. She wanted to do it. Her parents just wouldn't let her do it. Right? How dare you try to go up there with all those men? So we got three timelines going here. Okay, I'm starting to wrap my mind around it. You're out of your fucking mind. I will say I'm a little surprised his war record after the war. When did it come out? We broke Enigma. If the Nazis are defeated, who gives a shit? Who knows about that, right? It's not like nukes that you can still use. You can't use us breaking Enigma after World War II. I don't know. It's interesting. I can see them a scenario where they want to keep a secret because they don't want the Russians to know how good they are at code breaking. I just didn't know that. I didn't know that they would keep that a secret. There actually are going to be some other women. I thought he was full of shit. But it was getting sunk. Yep, get it out of here. Yeah, what? Yep. Maybe the fired people were the lucky ones. You're a moron. I can't wait till he eats crow when it works. In your ass. Dude, how about I whip your ass? The fuck's wrong with this dude, man? He's gonna win, moron. I know we're speaking from the armchair, Monday morning quarterback, and I get that. But still, even if we were living in a moment, I would still be on his side. You gotta win the war. They're trying to win the day, man. He's trying to win the entire thing. You want to break one code a week or some shit, right? Nice try. Well, I can't wait till this shit works. I was gonna watch the whole movie anyway, right? But like, boy, I can't fucking wait. I wish I smoked cigars. That shit would get fired up the second it does. The look on these motherfuckers' faces. The fuck you doing, man? Trying to sneak shit home? Why? He pretty much lives here anyway, don't he? Well, next one's gonna have to go up your ass. You're out of spots. Yeah, I guess I check him, right? I don't know why you need to take it home, man. I seriously doubt he spends more than 4 or 5 hours at home a day. The hell do you want? Oh, is she not allowed in the office? Was he? I thought he was lying. That she's. Is he sneaking shit to her? This is how they work together. What the actual hell, man? I guess maybe he's not a liar. I mean, I guess I misread the situation. Like he said that to parents and he meant it. Like she can't work in the office. That's crazy, man. Have a couple women, um, well, not entourage, that make sure nothing's happening, whatever that word is, right? Have some women chaperone. Have some women chaperone her every day or some shit. This is bullshit. Never do that. So, right, that's what he's basically trying to do a computer. I see. Okay. Well, I knew he did the Turing test later, right? But I figured this was just a mechanical machine, not like a proto computer. Didn't occur to me. Right. He's one of the fathers of computing, like one of the originators, right? Like, although I swear we had computers in World War II. Maybe not. Maybe I may be thinking of like uh, Korean War. Now what? Oh, Jesus Christ. I bet it's an angry guy. He would be the suspect number one. You're an ass. You can't be smuggled on any papers anymore. This some bitch hates him, man. He can't be smoking papers out anymore. Jesus. Well, back to work. I think it's an angry guy there. Look at him. That's why he's so mad, because he knows you're winning. Yeah. Three. Really? She does what she wants. He's the spy. Yeah, like you do. Yeah, good point. That's fair enough. I wouldn't either. Better start kissing that ass. Oh, Jesus Christ. You're going to tell a joke? Yeah. That was the worst telling of a joke I've ever heard in my life. Delivery 0 out of 10. The joke 3 out of 10. Right in front of the teacher? Literally. Of course, man. The teacher was fucking 6 inches behind you when you did it. Yeah. What the actual hell, man? You had to be doing that shit on purpose. That's what that was. In in 10, 15 seconds, he was going to be past you, and then you passed. That had to be on purpose. You said you were smart. So you're saying it wasn't on purpose. Not a bad code. Don't know why the teacher thinks it's gibberish, but codes, I guess, weren't as common back then as they are now. Nowadays, any teacher would know what that is. 41. I feel like 41 is when we broke it. Oh, shit. Brilliant. That's the best you're going to get for a compliment. I'm taking this sandwich. Okay, I guess he's not the spy. He's too charming. Who do you think the spy is? The little kid? Probably. He's the only one that's getting FaceTime, right? Huh. Old timey computer ass. Look at this son of a bitch. There's more computing power. I won't even say your phone because that's obvious, right? Your watch, your microwave. There's more computing power in your microwave than this son of a bitch. So what, you feed all the crap into it and it finds something intelligible? Is that what it is? Here's today's intercepts. 2 years. Nice transition. Knowing what they're going to do when they're going to do is only half the battle. You still have to be able to match it, right? Motherfucker's been churning away for hours, man. Hurry the fuck up. Yeah, he's getting pissed. Whenever it figures out a letter, does it that one stop, or do they just reduce the sound? You got to make it faster, man. You need the progress bar, man. This will be tedious. You don't even know if it's doing anything. Oh, they're pissed. They're coming to shut it down. Hey, man, I just got a pretty good kick. Ah, shit. Well, he was never going to beat him in a physical battle. Idiots. Well, we'll never know now, will we? Now we got to start over. Boy, I can't wait for him to win. Eat this crow, motherfucker. I can't wait, man. I'll be decrypting them all, bitch. He's. I get where they're coming from. So how do we get from here to them breaking the machine, breaking the code? Good thing you'd won him over. Shit. Now we're talking. The nerd back there is not going to be fired because he's a spy. You can do things the old way right now if the machine's just churning, man. Or are they saying there's some tweaks they need to make? Unhand me, sir. I wonder. I always check the history to see how whether movies make shit dramatic, right? How close were we actually to firing this son bitch? See, the nerd had nothing to say, right? He's a fucking spy. He kind of even looks like a Russian if you think about it. Chekhov looking ass. Oh, right. Oh, I see. So he is gay. Okay. I was wondering. He thinks he's a spy. Rubbish cases. I love the British. Well, I guess we're not going to get a romantic storyline. Yes! Unless it's going to be between Turing and the second in command. But they don't seem to be going that way. So, man, this is everything I've been asking for. Let's focus on the fucking science and the politics around the science, right? That's what I wanted, man. Now we're talking. You just walked in. He really doesn't understand communication, does he? You're a grown ass woman. He really doesn't. Damn. Jesus Christ. Holy shit. Damn. When did this get so bad? Yeah, yeah, that was harsh, man. Sorry, ain't gonna cut it. That was ugly. I'm not saying she's wrong, but I just can't believe she would say it. I can't tell. He seems like you hate his guts, man. Holy shit. Them was fighting words, man. Seriously. Are we saying this is a facade marriage? He'll be her beard. What a romantic proposal. This is my favorite romance I've ever seen in a movie. That's the worst fucking proposal I've ever seen in my life. He just kind of looked at her. Dude, you ain't got a fucking ring. He doesn't even know her fucking middle name. This is awesome. Best movie romance ever. And she did? The only way to keep her, right? They wanted to be a proper woman. That's what we do at donuts, you know? That's a weird way to eat a donut. He does want to hit that. He probably will be. Well, of all the sham marriages I've seen, this is second only to the one House had. Yeah, I mean, it's obvious to everybody. Yeah, so did we all. I think she should know, yes. Yeah. You don't fucking say. Fair enough. Yeah. This apparently was back then. I don't. Yeah. That's another thing, too. They are gunning for your ass, man. They are gunning for you. Well, he's not the spy, or he would use this. There probably is no spy. It's probably just a reason to harass him, right? Yeah. I'm sitting there trying to find the real spy. They just want to harass him. Yep, that shit better be in code back then. You got to decode it in your head too, man. They don't have like the answer keys and shit. In Harry Potter they talked about having trunks. They would have all their clothes and their shit in the trunks. I know she based that on real life British boarding schools, but it adds up. Yeah. So we're at the beginning of the movie. You're under arrest. Just tell me how much of a spy you are. Why are you so obsessed with me? Someday. This guy's thinking the deep questions. That is an interesting question. We wonder about that about the aliens, man. Hmm. Here we go. And we have a movie title. A Turing test, shall we say. That's my cover story, and I'm sticking to it. I'm a little unclear. I guess it wasn't working before. When it was just, I thought it was working. It was just taking too long. But it seems like he's adjusting it or something, or they had to do more shit. Like they had to do more shit, and it wasn't. So I'm confused whether it's working before or not. I'm interested in this process. That's why I'm not really saying much. I'm trying to attack the problem. I can't figure out exactly what they're bumping up against here. I assume what you do in the morning. Yeah, she's hitting that. In the morning, you put in the intercepts, and what it should be doing is trying to, it takes all the intercepts in, right? Let's say there's 1,000 of them, and it should be like trying to make sense out of any of them, right? What combination would make sense? And once you figure that out, then you've got the key for the whole day, right? It doesn't seem like it's doing that though. I'm not sure exactly what they're having it try to do. That's the whole concept behind a wingman. That's right. Go be his wingman. That'll keep him away from your future wife. Player. He doesn't need a wingman. Both. He's getting it from both sides, man. Quit trying to fuck this up, Alan. He's gonna get it right here. Oh shit. I think you just gave Alan an idea. He's like, think. He's doing it. Here it is. Oh shit. Dumb ass. Hey man, I'm going. We got badges, motherfucker. So she broke through security, huh? Okay, so they are feeding in messages. Okay. Hitler. Hitler would be the word. Yes. Limit the search. So it was searching everything. Okay, the number was too large. I got you. Now we're talking. Crank that shit out. It's so brilliant that nobody thought of it. There are common words that are going to be on almost, especially Heil Hitler, right? For these motherfuckers, they don't be saying "God save the Queen" in English messages, right? Did you break it, or did it spit it out? Okay, so this is the printout. You got to fucking write this shit out? Are you serious? this motherfucker going nuts, man. I guess they would have to do this every morning, right? Run the machine and then come over here to this. Work that long, that hard on something, man. Imagine the feeling. Damn, don't whip my ass. Yeah. I can't wait to see the look on Charles Dance's face. That's right, bitch. Let me drag my balls across your face. Not in a gay way, just, triumphant way, shall we say. Break every code every day. That's the move. And here, kiddies, is the lesson: stop being a dick. You can be an introvert. I am. But you got to engage with people, man. Speaking of fragile egos, they talked about his fragile ego. A lot of times people, because you don't want to fuck with them, you don't want to hang out with them, they think that, oh, you're too good for me. That's their fragile ego, right? No, it's like, I just don't want to hang out. Are they telling, I'm assuming they're telling the military, right? If they don't show the scene where Charles Dance finds out this works, I'm going to be really pissed. I'm wondering if they're doing this to make sure they're double checking to make sure it's right. I hope they didn't skip over my favorite scene in the movie. Yep. We got to tell them. Can't do it. You got to keep it secret that you know this. You got to let the admiral decide this, man. You have to let the admiral decide this. This ain't your job, man. Your job is to break the code. The admiral's job is to decide what to do about it. Exactly. Yeah. It's the admiral's job to decide this shit. They'll know. Exactly. Duh. It's fucking obvious, man. This is above your pay grade. Then you'd have to break it again. It's not your job, man. Exactly. Does anybody know you've cracked it? Well, if he wasn't a spy before, he's going to be now. Shit. Doesn't change the equation. Two people trying to whip his ass in 5 minutes. Look, nobody's making the point here. It's starting to get frustrating. This is not their job. They're supposed to inform the military, and the military decides what to do about it, right? They're trying to make it seem like this is their decision. It's not. But again, it's probably narrative drama, right? This is the most dramatic way to do this, right? I mean, it's a good way to do it. It's just, I feel like the movie's missing a couple scenes. There has been a scene where they tell the military that they did this, and then like some kind of protocols established at that point. You know, like we get Charles Dance being smug for an hour and a half, and we don't get to see him eat his words. Why would you leave that out, right? It also makes it confusing. On top of just the satisfaction, the emotional satisfaction of seeing him eat it. Oh wait. Oh, I see. Okay, I get it. You got to keep the circle small. That makes more sense. Right. Exactly. Okay, I kind of see what's happening now. I get it. Right. This is crucial, man. Crucial information. Goddamn right. So are we just saying Charles Dance will never even find out he broke the? Surely he will. He was in, otherwise he would come shut you down, right? That's right. Crank these numbers out. You delivered the goods. God damn, man. Really? Guess his brother died. Can't have that around, man. If he's salty about that shit, you gotta get the fuck out of here. Can't have it. Oh shit. He's getting religious. Can't have religion in here either. There's only room for one god in this laboratory. No, he'll be fucking fired, is what he'll be. Like I said, you can't have that shit. Always something weird with the son bitch. He's the spy. I see. Nice try. You're out. I didn't have him pegged for it. I thought it was everybody but him. Well, yeah, this tends to be how that works. You should have snitched out, oh boy. You know it's him. They're using him. Of course. I'm not surprised. The spy works shits over my head, man. They love this shit. and it's useful. I get where it comes from. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I can tell. You better get my girl out of prison. He knows everything. Everybody beating him over the head with his fucking secret, man. He ain't hurting nobody. You dick. Boy, I'll whip your fucking ass. I don't know whether whip his ass or kiss him. He's awesome. That lying motherfucker. I fell for that shit hook, line, and sinker. If I was a fish, I'd be mounted on the wall. I thought for sure she was in fucking prison. Lying bitch. Piece of shit. That was good. Nothing good. Unacceptable. She knows. Yeah, I thought you were going to tell me some news. I need a beard. Yeah, obviously. I actually like that. I believe that. Look, I need a beard, and you need whatever the female equivalent of a beard is, a wig. There you go. And we can go smash on the side. He's still worried about her, though. Oh, you lying bitch. Yeah. Nice try. Should have been a closed fist. Agreed. Especially the parents. Fuck her parents. That's right. Bitch. Next time it's a closed fist. He just said he didn't care about you and he was clearly lying. That's a little extreme. Monster. Doesn't matter what people say, it matters what they do. What he did proved he cared about her. Yep. Crucial work, man. Crucial work. They used it when they needed it the most. Yep. can't blow it on one convoy, man. I'm just saying. This pairs nicely with Oppenheimer, if you think about it. That's right. Shut it down. Yeah. Right. Okay, that's why you don't tell everybody. Gotcha. You goddamn right. And he'll be watching. Your government thanks you for your service. Some of them are looking forward to that. Good shit, homie. Traitor for telling a random police officer all this shit. This is top secret. You're an asshole. That's what you are. See, I'm a robot. I don't judge people. See, I'm a decoder. I've been decoding these messages all year. Yes. I wondered if that's where this is going. He was going to inform the only friend. That's what he was doing. It was a weird way to get there, but Jesus. This guy's not the asshole I thought he was. Shit. Why wouldn't he tell you? That's so weird. Uh, Probably. Yeah, right. See, I'm trying to have a stiff upper lip too. I would hate to burn it, man. All that work. I know the job's done, but goddamn. Ah, shit. Not what I was trying to do. He's indecent. Oh, so you're still alive. I guess you read about it in the paper. Man, your place is disgusting. Jesus, dude. Yeah, he's been. Does he have something? Are you high? Jesus. Holy shit. Well, they were serious about that shit back then. God damn. I've got my buddy here. One day he'll destroy the world. Yep. He'll wash the earth clean of my enemies. My many, many enemies. He is such a great actor. Is it possible to be as renowned as he is and still be underrated? Can't fight it, man. He's afraid that if he fights it, they'll take the computer away. Should have been born in a better time, man. Jesus. Literally, who gives a fuck who you fuck? I just. Hey, nice ring. It's not the shitty one I gave you. Like I said, that was obvious. That's not a challenge. Thanks for getting him so upset. He was doing fine. Shit, he can't even fucking write, man. Yeah. Good point. It's all about perspective. What a great actress. She's definitely underrated. You never hear anybody talking about her, right? I mean, famous actress. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody has her on a list of top five best actresses of her age, right? Night Charlie or whatever your name is. Burn it all. Jesus Christ, man. Holy shit. He was a young kid, essentially. I mean, I would think fucking so, considering how many people he saved. Assholes. Hell yeah. That's not true, though, by the way. We'll talk about that in a minute. How is that fucking possible? I heard about them doing this shit in the 80s? I don't know, man. I mean, I'm not doubting the movie. I fucking swear, in school in the 80s, I heard about them breaking the Enigma code. 30 years after the war. I don't know, man. No, that would have been 40 years. Yeah, I guess that's close enough. Okay, so first of all, let's talk about the shorten the war by 2 years. No, because we were making a nuclear bomb for the Germans in the first place. Shit doesn't happen in a vacuum. Yes, this shortened the war. This shortened the war so much that we didn't need to nuke Europe and end the war that way, right? So if and this is an interesting question because then I think the war in the Pacific may take longer, but people debate that like the Japanese would have surrendered soon anyway, like because we were just kicking their asses, right? So it's possible they would have surrendered without the war. That's the, without the nukes being dropped. That's the argument where people still say to this day we shouldn't have dropped the nukes. You know. So if that's true, then it's true, right? But with the Germans, say they were in a better position, and they still maybe they 19. I guess it was summer of 45, right? Summer of 45 rolls around. They still have France. We're not in a position where we invaded France yet because of Enigma, right? We didn't break it, and they were able to do shit and all this stuff. Okay, great. Then we fucking we nuke them, right? And that would end the war because what would happen is that the generals are already against Hitler. They even made an attempt on his life. There would have been more attempts. If he refused in the face of nuclear weapons, destruction heretofore unimaginable, they would have kept trying until they killed his ass. And then they would have gone to the bargaining table. It's that simple, right? So, nobody can say it for sure, but I don't think the war in Europe, at least, would have lasted much longer than it did either way. You know, because I think they were only a couple months too late. You know, the Nazis surrendered a couple months before they were ready to drop the nuke. So the war would have lasted just a couple months longer there. But then you wouldn't have the nukes for the Pacific. Now you could say the news would spread. Look what we did here in Europe. I don't know if the Japanese would care if it wasn't their own territory. They may think it was fake news. Entirely possible. So maybe the war in the Pacific lasts longer. But that was inevitable. So I don't think, no matter what, that the war lasts beyond 1945 in Europe, regardless. So I don't think we're having a war until 1947 if we don't get Enigma, right? You know, we don't break it. So I think that is hyperbole, and it's a narrow focus. You're not looking at the entire context of the situation. Like I said before, like, there's a lot I don't know about history. Nobody, you know, you basically got to have slices that you know about, and then the rest you just don't fucking know because there's too much to know, right? But World War II is something I spent years studying, so I feel pretty confident in this opinion. Read tons of books, seen tons of documentaries, and you know, letters and journals and just all this shit, all the secondary sources and stuff. Not all of them, like there's so much, right? But I'm just saying I've read a lot about it, I've seen a lot about it. I've thought a lot about it. I've talked a lot about it, right? So this is something I feel pretty confident saying. The war was going to end in Europe the way things are. If you just change that one thing, say we don't break Enigma, it's hard to imagine what the German position would be. I think they would still probably have France in 45, probably. We could say that much. They might even still have most of Italy or all of Italy. Maybe we hadn't even gotten that far yet, you know. But they, you know, the expansion would have stopped. They still would have been, you know, low on resources, and then the nukes would have been the difference. So that's that. But it doesn't mean he didn't contribute to society, man. Like, what a hell of a contribution. Hell of a contribution. So, you know, like it just, I knew we broke it. I guess I never heard the story of it. I knew, and of course I had heard of Turing, of course, Alan Turing. I didn't know all this stuff in this movie is basically new information to me for the most part. They didn't even talk about the Turing test except a little bit in that interview. I think other people took his work further, and that's why he became so popularized, right? Yeah, this is the best biopic I've seen so far because it wasn't about the romance crap, and as far as the sex goes, that was so integral to the plot. It was used against him in various ways. It drove the plot ahead. I know a life isn't a plot, but this is a movie with a plot. It was integral. It actually mattered to the story they were telling, and it even led directly to his death, right? So, that's the first time you can say that about one of these biopics. You know, like in Oppenheimer, for instance, his relationships were tangential to at best. I guess if we're talking about the there's Oppenheimer's three storylines. We talk about the Senate hearings at the end. They brought in his relationships a little bit to make it look like he was nefarious and, you know, he was doing other shit, spy or something. I think that's, if I remember right, they were trying to say that his rendezvous with his affair, his extramarital affair was about being a spy, right? So in that way, I guess it's a little bit related, but not really, right? So this is a perfect scientific biopic. Now, if we're talking about some other field of study, okay, whatever, right? Like, you know, a musician or a football player. But for a scientific mind, this is the perfect biopic. This is very well done. All right, let's go ahead and score this movie. Now, I will say this. I can't say this for sure because, you know, I don't remember every second of a 2-hour reaction. I don't think I brought up the music a single time. I don't think I was like, wow, check this out. Look how this compares with Theory of Everything. Another biopic, a good place to compare it. I don't think I mentioned it a single time. That's not good for a soundtrack. When you go into it thinking about the music. Now, I did get swept up in the story. I will admit that. I wasn't like, I didn't have the forefront of this sound thing that we're doing in the forefront of my mind the entire time. Probably because I didn't do it in the intro. I was like, well, it feels like I'm wasting people's time showing people, like, if we're gonna watch these in order, you know what the previous score was. You're gonna see it again at the end. So I was like, well, I'll skip that. I'm trying to not waste people's time, right? I do wonder if that decision kept it out of the forefront of my mind, or if it's a movie. I think it was a movie. I think there just wasn't anything memorable with the music in the movie, the entire movie. Like, it just wasn't memorable. Now, memorable could be bad too. If it's really bad, it's memorable. If it's really good, it's memorable. So you know what that means? We're talking middle of the road. It's middle of the road. If it was bad, like we're talking ones, twos, or zeros, then it would have been notable. I would have been remarking on it. I was like, wow, this is out of place. Wow, this sucks. So it wasn't bad. There was nothing bad about the soundtrack whatsoever. Very competent. But there's also nothing excellent about it either, right? So we're mediocre. The not the Twitter version of mediocre, which means bad. Mediocre just means middle of the road. We're talking mediocre here, is what we're saying. So I didn't have a single leitmotif that stood out in my mind. I can't remember a single one. I don't want to give them a zero, but you know what? I don't like, nothing stands out. I just have to. Manipulation. I think this is the definition of middle of the road. Now, I will say, thinking back, now I wasn't thinking this in a moment, but thinking back at the movie, I will say that the montages and some of the stuff towards the end, I do remember the music, and I remember it being okay, right? So that's why I'm not going to give it a 5. I'm going to give it a 6 for manipulation. But we're talking middle of the road here, man. Like, this, just nothing stands out. Test of time, no chance in hell. Like, there's just, like I said, nothing stands out. Intangibles, give it a 5. No, I can't even give it a 5, man. A 4 on intangibles. And that is specifically because, like I said, it wasn't so bad that anything stood out. So they were competent. They deserve points for competence, right? So that's where we're at. Like, I will be shocked if this is the one that wins. Absolutely shocked. It's just nothing bad, but nothing that stands out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll be shocked if there's a score lower than this. Like, I'm repeating myself. Like, show me a moment in this movie where you're like, wow, this music really nailed the scene, really made it emotional. It was performances. Now again, maybe it's the music doing the job, because the music is not supposed to be noticeable. It's only in the past 30 years that we've come to, like, glorify soundtracks and composing and stuff like that, where it's like it has to be Star Wars, right? It has to stand out like Star Wars does. And there's room for that. But most of the time, you're not supposed to notice the music. So if you don't, it's doing its job. But here, so maybe I'm being harsh, but I will say here, we're trying to get the best soundtrack of the year award here. That's what's at stake. And you didn't stand out. So that's where we're at. Oh, I'd already wrapped everything up, named the files, was transferring them over, getting ready to open my editor and put this all together. I feel like this is important to say. It takes a lot from you, like, fuck, I just something else I want to say. Let me reopen the editor, reopen the camera software and all that shit. Because, I'm on a deadline here. But that's how important I feel this is to say. I do feel like the film stumbled significantly in the resolution of the I talked about it during the movie, but you get to the point, you have all this adversity about whether or not the machine's going to work. And you have Charles Dance doing such a great job of foil, and he's an asshole, and he's about to fire your ass, and he doesn't think anything of you, and he thinks it's just ain't going to work, and he's so fucking smug about it, right? And then there's just no fucking resolution. The machine works, and then we're just on to debating convoys and whether we should, pass the information to the Admiralty. There's no scene where they report to Charles Dance, hey, this works. And man, did they need that scene. That would have been so narratively satisfying, so satisfying for the audience, for him to walk in. And because they'd even said, they had it perfectly set up, where they said, okay, well, this is the last day. I guess the machine don't work. Let's go to the bar. They go to the bar and they figure it out. They go back and they've solved it, right? Well, he was going to show up to shut them down and fire all their asses the day after the month was up. So it's perfectly set up for him to just walk in. You don't even have to tell him. He's walking in with his people. He's got his minions. He's got his butt boys, and he's got the security, and they're ready to throw their asses out, right? So you don't even have to say, "Hey, man, we figured it out. Show up," and he shows up. Well, you say you figured it out. No, he's showing up completely expecting this shit not to work. And the movie wasn't even 2 hours. They had plenty of time to do this. So he shows up, and then you show him, here's the fucking proof. Here it is. Boom. It works. And that look on his face, and be like, oh, I don't even know what you would have him say and do. But he's Charles Dance. He would do something. He would give you something, and it would be satisfying. It would be eating crow in some form, right? We needed that, man. We had all that build up, all that adversity, all that energy you had accumulated of him just basically kicking Turin when he's down over and over and over again. And maybe I guess I feel like the fact that he gave 1 more month, that was it. That was his come up, and that was his, capitulation or whatever. No, it really wasn't. You needed that. In a way, I don't care if it was realistic or not. Like, you set that up the way you set it up. There had to have been a moment in real life where he found out that it worked. And it felt like they were doing that, and it just never did it. And so I was even taken aback. I was like, I kept waiting for the scene, and now they're already debating this shit. How much time has passed? It's already confusing biopics. How much time passes? So for a great movie, something like this drags it from a 10 to an 8, man. It's just, you would take a star off for that. Like, it's just such a fumbling of the bag. It's such a misstep. And it really, I don't understand the filmmaker's choice in that matter. If you're not going to pay it off, why set it up so much? And I guess the setup is, well, maybe the machine don't work. Well, we fucking know. Any child knows Enigma got cracked. Like, maybe it's not common knowledge. I don't know. But you're not going to do a movie about a man who failed and then just history never heard of him because he failed and somebody else helped save World War II. So on some level, it's going to work at some point. So the drama isn't that they solved it. The drama is, and I think what the movie's doing here, and I think Turin himself is not the kind of person. I talked about dragging your balls across somebody's face. It's touchdown dance. That's what that is. It's rubbing the other person's nose in your success because they doubted you, right? I'm the kind of person who wouldn't do that in real life, but would definitely visualize doing it, and would be, because I'm not a I told you so kind of person, but I definitely visualize. I'd be like, wow, how satisfying would that be? I told you so. I succeeded when you thought I wouldn't. We all have those impulses. I think Turing just had no interest in it. He didn't care. As long as he succeeded, he didn't care that Charles Dance, then feels bad and has to admit that he was wrong. So he didn't care, so the movie didn't care, right? I guess that's the message we're getting here. But that's not most of the audience. I think it would just been way more satisfying to the audience if we had had that scene and they had time for it. And Charles Dance just kind of fucking disappears from the movie at that point. We never see him again. And it also would have helped clarify the scenes that came after that, because I was uncertain whether anybody knew about this. Like, at least Charles Dance's character had to have known that they succeeded, or why are they still working? He had to have known. Now, maybe you don't tell anybody else in the military. Fair enough. He knows, and the MI6 guys knows. So, fair enough. Okay, so maybe you don't tell anybody else. But he knows. He was notified. And, if we'd had that scene, then the next conversations they had after that would have been less confusing. It would have been easier to follow. And plus we would have been narratively satisfied. So, I just feel like that's a huge misstep in the movie. Just, worth firing all this back up just to say that.